the shockwave from Sepang that reshaped MotoGP's narrative. As a reporter who closely follows the developments of MotoGP manufacturers, I can confirm that what happened at Sepang circuit was not just a leak, it was a full-scale earthquake. Yamaha's private test, initially planned to pass quietly, suddenly became the hottest rumor in the paddock. Their new V4 engine, a subject of speculation for years, finally touched the asphalt. But the real surprise was who they chose to ride it, Toprak Razgatlıoğlu from World SBK, not a MotoGP regular. Internal sources told me his lap times weren't just impressive, they surpassed Marc Márquez's Ducati test benchmark. If true, Yamaha had sent a clear message across the paddock: they're done being followers in the V4 arms race. What was meant to be a simple systems check turned into a bold declaration of revived ambition. What happened at Sepang wasn't accidental, it was the beginning of a new era that could shake MotoGP's competitive order. A new roar breaks Sepang's silence. When the second day of testing began, I stood outside the paddock fence and heard something I never associated with Yamaha before. The sound coming from their garage was deeper, harsher, and more aggressive, the unmistakable tone of a V4 engine. The technicians I later spoke to admitted the sound wasn't just a mechanical shift, but a symbolic one. Toprak, with his characteristic controlled chaos, made the prototype dance across the circuit. He pushed the rear wheel into long slides, as if probing both the machine's limits and his own. Leaked data showed acceleration figures the M1 had never reached before. Engineers reportedly exchanged stunned glances as the bike delivered levels of aggression rarely seen in Yamaha's DNA. From my perspective, this was more than a normal engine test. This was Yamaha rewriting its identity after years of being labeled too polite compared to their European rivals. Yamaha's DNA shift, from inline-4 pride to V4 revolution. In my years covering MotoGP, Yamaha has always been synonymous with loyalty to the inline-4 philosophy. They rejected the V4 trend not due to inability, but because their smooth, predictable power delivery was a core part of their identity. Yet, that same identity gradually became a burden. Their lack of top speed and acceleration put them on the defensive. When I learned that the V4 prototype was officially tested at Sepang, I realized this wasn't a mere technical update. It was a cultural revolution. Entrusting the bike to Toprak showed Yamaha's desire to inject disruptive energy into their development path. Leaked telemetry revealed a motor that no longer prioritized refinement, but raw punch. In one striking data point, Toprak entered a corner faster than Márquez had on his Ducati, an achievement that left many analysts stunned. For me as a reporter, this was the moment Yamaha stopped defending the past and began attacking the future. Sepang's mystique and the speed that defied logic. When word spread that Toprak achieved a higher corner entry speed than Márquez, I contacted several technical insiders who regularly work with MotoGP teams. Their reactions were identical: silence, disbelief, then curiosity. Sepang is not a circuit that forgives mistakes. Its hard braking zones and fast-flowing corners demand courage and mechanical stability. For a World SBK rider to surpass a MotoGP benchmark is not an anomaly, it's a sign of a shifting competitive landscape. Engineers who witnessed the run said Toprak appeared to be rewriting mechanical limits with every lap. He let the rear slide aggressively, yet remained in full control, reading the grip as though it were second nature. Leaked data points, entry speed, brake pressure, lean angle, revealed a level of aggressiveness Yamaha hadn't shown in years. From my vantage point, this was the moment rumor transformed into real threat. Toprak Razgatlıoğlu, the maverick who never waits for permission. Throughout my career covering motorcycle racing, rarely have I seen a rider whose presence carries such psychological weight. Toprak isn't a product of elite racing academies. He was shaped by the unforgiving streets of Turkey. His wild yet calculated style once made many doubt his suitability for MotoGP, yet that same unpredictability is exactly what Yamaha sought. Giving him the V4 prototype before Fabio Quartararo sparked internal debate, but the first day of testing at Sepang silenced all concerns. Toprak didn't just test the bike, he challenged it. Long slides, late braking, fearless grip reading, he treated every lap like a declaration. He wasn't waiting for an invitation to the main stage. From a journalist's perspective, Yamaha didn't just pick a test rider, they picked a symbol of rebellion. Ducati and Márquez respond, from doubt to caution. When rumors surfaced that Toprak had beaten Márquez's reference time, I immediately sought comments from Ducati personnel. None would speak on record, but between the lines, I sensed unease. Initially, they dismissed the reports. Private test times are rarely comparable. But within days, their internal data review teams began reanalyzing old Sepang sessions, searching for variables they may have overlooked. Márquez then made a rare admission. If the numbers were real, the competitive landscape had truly shifted. I've followed Márquez long enough to know he doesn't acknowledge threats unless they're genuine. Ducati's sudden analytical urgency confirmed something. Yamaha had finally done something significant enough to make their fiercest rival nervous.
Iwata mobilizes. Yamaha stops defending and starts attacking. Days after the Sepang test, a source inside Yamaha described the atmosphere at the Iwata headquarters as a quiet but absolute state of war. Every data point from Sepang, vibration charts, top speed logs, tire degradation curves, was treated as classified. Their three long-standing weaknesses suddenly showed dramatic improvement. But perhaps the most striking moment was Toprak's remark, "This doesn't feel like a prototype, it feels ready to race." Riders simply do not say such things unless they truly believe them. Yamaha released no official statements, but ironically, the silence amplified the sense that something major was brewing. For the first time in years, Yamaha wasn't in survival mode, they were on the offensive. The duel that hasn't happened but is already a legend. Within hours of the Sepang leaks, social media erupted with imagined scenarios of a Toprak-Márquez showdown. Graphic teams at major broadcasters began preparing highlight packages for a duel that didn't even exist yet. The public's excitement reminded me of the old Rossi-Stoner era when MotoGP rivalries transcended sport and became cultural moments. Dorna executives I contacted made no attempt to cool the speculation. They understood that a disruptor like Toprak is a gift to the sports narrative. Two contrasting philosophies now stood on the horizon. Márquez's surgical precision versus Toprak's improvisational fire. The duel was becoming legendary before they even shared the track. For a journalist, this was a rare moment when myth formed ahead of reality.
The final day at Sepang, mechanics witnessed an unusual bond. Speaking with the mechanics who were present on the final day of testing, I heard descriptions bordering on emotional. Toprak returned to the garage covered in sweat and dust, while the V4 prototype sat radiating heat. No cheers, no applause, just a reverent quiet. One mechanic told me the bike felt alive. It wasn't exaggeration. They believed they had witnessed a rare connection between rider and machine, especially for a bike not yet officially unveiled. From what I gathered, this wasn't the conclusion of a test, it was the birth of a conviction. Yamaha seemed to realize they had found a potent combination, a fierce machine and a rider capable of unlocking its full potential from the very first lap. Project Phoenix and the storm looming over 2026. Weeks after the Sepang test, I finally confirmed that Yamaha's V4 program had been internally renamed Project Phoenix. It was not just a poetic choice, it reflected their belief that they were rising from years of disappointment. Veteran engineers from the YSR 500 era were brought back as consultants, signaling a level of seriousness unseen in recent development cycles. Meanwhile, rivals began showing signs of unease. Ducati reportedly reassessed its 2026 development roadmap after hearing whispers of Sepang's data. Social media, meanwhile, rallied behind #BlueRebellion, a grassroots movement from fans sensing Yamaha's new energy. From where I stand as a reporter, all signs point to one conclusion. The 2026 MotoGP season will not simply be a competition, it will be a confrontation between philosophies, technologies, and a new spirit of rebellion embodied by a rider from Turkey named Toprak Razgatlıoğlu.